This tutorial will illustrate the steps involved in creating the animation that you see on the home page of KoolMoves.com. That animation is comprised of 5 scenes. I'm going to look at just 2 scenes, and that will give you most of the technical know-how to do everything that was done throughout the entire animation. Let me look at movie width and height, which is what I want, and movie speed, that's also what I want. Background color, I'm switching to a dark color. All 5 scenes have on the left hand side a rounded rectangle filled with different content. So I'm going to start by adding a rounded rectangle. That's about right. Changing the border color to a light gray. Changing the fill from a solid color to an image. I'm applying an effect to that image. And clicking on the play button to show what I have so far. All 5 scenes have text on the right hand side which comes from off stage to on stage and fades in doing so. So I'm going to add text, but first I want to start that text in the second keyframe. So I'm just going to duplicate the first keyframe. I'm starting it off stage using a Google Web font, identifying it as a Google Web font, which will add code to the HTML page, which will download the Google Web font so that all users will have access to it. And I'm just going to do random letters. Change the color. I want this to slide in over a couple of keyframes. So I'm going to morph it to here. In this keyframe where it started, the text first appeared, I want the color to be transparent. And in this keyframe, first of all, let me put the image in all keyframes. Otherwise, the image is only going to appear in the first 2 keyframes. So I'm going to move the text using Shift arrow because that's faster to say that position. So in this position, in this keyframe, full color, that position, in this keyframe, off stage, transparent. Now let's play it. Okay, it slides in. We'll deal with the timing later. Next, I wanted to have more text. So I would normally add a second line as I did on the home page. I could do it here by adding a second line, but I can't control the line height or the spacing between the lines. So I would just do a second line, but to make things brief, I'm not going to go through that step, but I will add a third line which I want to start in the third keyframe. So I want it to lag the first text. Lato is also a Google font. Okay, I want to change the color in all frames. Let me get rid of this particular instance because I want to, oops, that's not what I want. Okay, good. I want to morph over a couple of keyframes. So let me move that one over, which I can do copy to next frame, get rid of this one, and connect the two instances with a motion path. So what this will effectively do, let me just move this here. This will morph between that position, transparent, to this position, which I need to move. Oh, let me move this over because I can't see. I'll move that one there, and I will copy that one over. So let me move this to the left. Okay, I think that's what I want. Let's play it. Okay, good. The only issue is timing. It's slow. It's not snappy. And we can change that by diddling with these tweens between the keyframes. Now, tweens are in between frames, which their properties are set by adjacent keyframes. So all the action is in the keyframes. That's where you set positions and colors and whatever. And the tweens are created automatically and morphed between adjacent keyframes. Now, you don't need to do in-betweens or tweens. You can eliminate that by changing default tweens to 0 when you start the movie, and then there will be no in-betweens. And the downside is you're going to have a lot more complexity on the timeline. It's going to extend much further to the right. This is a much more succinct presentation because it's only indicating what's actually changing. I'm going to change this to 12. And I'm going to make that text come in faster by reducing the number of tweens. Okay, let's see how that looks. Okay, that's much snappier. We could in fact apply motion, or oops, we could in fact change the easing on this. I don't think it's going to be visible, but we could do like a cubic ease in and a cubic ease in, but I don't think it's going to be visible. Let's save that as page 1. That didn't do what I thought it was going to do. Okay, here we go. Page 1. Yes. And I'm going to use page 1 as a template as for page 2. So let's save this also as page 2. And I'm going to make some changes. A lot of this will be the same. The text will have different text, but the positions on the timeline will be the same and the timing will be the same. So this is the main thing I need to change. First of all, let me just change the name. It's going to be The Sky to an Imported Movie. And this has an effect associated with it, so let me get rid of that. Actually, I could just do that and change this from image fill to a solid color, a sky color. Good. Let me just make sure that effect still isn't there. Good. And I will morph it to there so it's throughout the movie. Now I'm going to add an animation that will be in this area here. I'm going to contain it within a movie clip. A movie clip is a movie within a movie. It has its own timeline, it has its own keyframes, it has its own tweens between keyframes. It's a way to hide complexity, it's a way to allow subparts of the movie to run at basically different speeds. I know from doing this before that the lawn area, it needs to be wider. So I'm going to accomplish that. Change it in all frames in the movie clip. This annoying message can be eliminated in the preferences. Okay, now move this over. Now, you'll see it's too small for the space, so I'm going to fix that by scaling it. And that looks good. Maybe move it down 1 pixel. We see we have overhang, which we don't want, and the way of eliminating that is by using a mask. So just for tidiness, I'm going to move this up under the movie clip. Oh, I put it in the last keyframe, so I want it throughout the entire movie. So let me do a copy, go here and do a paste. Okay, and then properties, motion path, okay, now let me move this up. Now, for the mask. The mask will be made from this object labeled sky, because it's the shape we want. We're only concerned about the shape. So I'm going to say copy and paste, make a complete copy when I paste. Now this is offset So I'm going to make it a line. It's offset by 3 pixels. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now that should align. And I'm going to rename this mask. And I'm going to change the color. And change it into a mask with a masking depth of 1, which is what I want. And we'll put it throughout the movie. So let's see if this works. Yes. Good. Okay. Let's save this as page 2. And go back to page 1. And we're going to import page 2 as a new scene. Page 2. Okay, so the paintball animation is scene 2. The screen capture is scene 1. Let's play it. Now we would need to adjust the timing because there isn't enough time to read text, but that's not a big problem. We would like to be able to navigate between these scenes, particularly if you have more than 2 scenes. So let's go to Preferences, Scene Slideshow, add slideshow type buttons. I'm not going to change any of this, and see what we have. Okay, that's it, and that should give you quite a bit of technical know-how.